Welcome, food travelers. I'm Simon.
And I'm Micah.
After our visit to Houston, we had barbecue dreams and had to come back. And so here we are in Austin, Texas, looking for some more great barbecue.
Yeah, I'm really excited for more barbecue. Never been to Austin before. How about you, Simon?
I've been here quite a bit, mostly when I was for my work. I would come and fly down at least about once a year. But with working, you don't really get to go out and try the barbecue, especially if it requires one where you got to stand in line early, since lunch is only an hour or so. And so I never actually really got to try these really great barbecue spots in Austin.
So for this first spot in this video that we're headed to is Franklin BBQ. They're very, very famous in Austin, as you can see from this line here. I talked to some of the people in the front of the line, and they were there since 5 or 6 a.m. and these guys open at 11. So what? That's over 5 hours of waiting.
And we were there on a weekday, so this wasn't a weekend. And from what I hear, that the Saturday and Sunday, it's actually a lot busier because they also offer the beef ribs. And those beef ribs, they go really, really fast, and they don't make a large quantity since it takes a bit of time to make those beef ribs.
Yeah, those beef ribs are definitely for just the first 10 people in line, from what I hear. Since we arrived, there was a worker who came out with a pen and paper, and he pretty much told us what to expect, which was once we head to this power line, there's gonna be another 2.5 hours wait. And the only thing they can guarantee us was a brisket and sausage.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty nice that they would go out and kind of talk with everybody so everybody gets a good idea of whether they'll even be able to order anything or not and what they can order. Luckily for us, when we did get to the front and made our order, we actually were able to order the pork ribs as well. One of the things I do want to note is that for us, we actually ended up waiting a total of 3 hours.
Yeah, we definitely waited a long time, and while in line, there was also a girl who would come out and asked if we wanted beer, and she was doing a really good job selling beer to us.
Yeah, and one of the things where 3 hours is a long time. One of the cool things that makes it go by a little quicker is you end up talking with those around you. So we met a few other patrons, and some from California and Arizona, who came a long way to also try the barbecue. And that was pretty nice to be able to kind of pass the time talking to them and get to know them and having beers with them.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely enjoyed that. I think the culture and just meeting people while waiting for line was a really great experience. Something we probably don't experience too much up in the Northwest.
And as you can see, it's kind of similar with other barbecue places. You go up to the front and you kind of make your order by the pound, and then you'll see them cut it right in front of you. The service was great. The people up front were super nice, super friendly, easy to talk to, and of course, it's always fun to actually watch them cut through and get all the little pieces that you're ordering.
Yeah, definitely. And in addition, the cutter, she also gave us burnt ends to try as well.
Yeah, that was awesome. Burnt ends. There's a lot of barbecue places that will cut that piece off itself and sell them separately. They're such a highly coveted piece, so it was just awesome that she gave it to us to try, and they were super, super delicious, super tender, so I couldn't be more grateful for her to give us those pieces.
I totally agree. And just to make a note here, while waiting in line, there are lots of merch you can buy and souvenirs you bring back home and give to your friends as well. And here is our order. We've got the pork ribs, the brisket, burnt ends, sausage, our pies, and also the two sides, which is coleslaw and potato salad.
Yeah, I was really happy with what we were able to get, especially since originally we were only be able to get the brisket and the sausage, but they ended up having the pork ribs, so that was cool.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this brisket. It was nothing like anything else I've ever had. It was really juicy, it was fatty, it was moist in all the right places.
And earlier when we were talking about waiting in line for that 3 hours, one of the things that we were kind of talking with the people that we were in line with was, would it be worth it? Is it just overhyped? And it better be good. We kept talking about that over and over as we were getting closer and closer to the front. And in my opinion, absolutely, waiting in line was definitely worth it because it was just the most awesome barbecue I've had.
3 hours? Yeah, it was like something you kept questioning. Is it worth it? How come you don't have someone coming out giving out samples? I mean, that was something in my head. It would have been nice to have like a tiny bite-sized sample just to say, yeah, this is what you're waiting for.
Agreed, that would have been really nice, but I can see why they don't because once you get there and you actually take a bite of the barbecue, you're blown away and you know this is just great barbecue, and so it just ends up being worth it.
Yeah, and you can see in the video, this brisket is so moist, so tender. I'm just breaking it apart with just the fork in itself.
Yeah, it's that melt in your mouth brisket, and one of the things that I really liked about this brisket was that just every single bite, every single piece was just tender and beautifully done, and so nice and flavorful. I've had other barbecue places where you'd come across, certain bites were great, but then you'd come across something that wasn't quite. But this was just consistency all around.
And you can also see that bark on that brisket, and it was just amazing. Going on to this pork rib here, it was really flavorful, it was really tender, it was also fall off the bone. It was nothing like any other places we've been to where sometimes barbecue shops will only be good at one item, but this one in Franklin's, they're pretty good in both of them.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I was really impressed with Franklin's was that just everything they had was really good, and that even came down to the desserts. The key lime pie was one I wanted to order, and that was just delicious. It was real key limes used in, you can tell. It tasted as good or better than the key lime pies I had when I was in Florida over in the Keys. So for me, it was definitely worth getting everything on their menu if you can get them.
For me, I had the pecan pie. It was definitely better than anything else I've had in other trips that we went to. As you guys may have watched our Las Vegas episode where I had the pecan pie there. This one was really sweet too, but I think if you wait and you bring it home and you heat up, and it would taste even better the next day. Just want to add in on the sauces. We had the vinegar sauce base, and also the espresso, and I think it's the normal one too, right, Simon?
Yeah, the original barbecue sauce.
I think the espresso one was my favorite. You can really taste the coffee flavors in there. I wish they bottled this one so that I could buy and bring it home. And unfortunately, both at the restaurant and at the airport, I can only find the vinegar based barbecue sauce. And to wrap up our video, here are our notables. For the first one is the brisket. I thought the brisket was very velvety, had a great mouthfeel to it. It was textural, very balanced, great smoke flavor. You can see the nice bark on it as well. It was just something so moist and juicy, like I mentioned earlier. Something definitely worth getting if you're coming to Franklin's.
Yep. And for our next notable is actually the dessert, and this was the key lime pie. Probably one of the best key lime pies I've had, especially compared to the key lime pies I've had in Florida on the Keys. This one was just right up there, if not as good, even better than what's over there, because it's the natural, fresh key limes. You can taste it. It has a nice tart and sweet with that graham cracker crust, and it's just very delicious. Perfect balance.
And for the third notable is the pecan pie. The pecan pie was amazing, broke off really easily as you saw in the video. I like this type of style where it's not hard as a rock. There's perfect amount of sweetness to it, and even better the next day when you warm it up.
If you've enjoyed the content you've seen, don't forget to support the channel and hit like and subscribe. And if you want to see additional pictures of food and our travels, go over to our Instagram page and follow us there. And thanks for watching.